All right, Saoirse. So let's talk about the first round of the season, the first two races of the British F4
Hmm.
season, the British F4 Esports season at Brands Hatch Indy. So Brands Hatch Indy, as Olivia just told me, is a difficult circuit to overtake on because it's such a short circuit with such a limited variety of corner. But how did you go into the race knowing that you'd be starting where you'd be starting and that it would be difficult to make up places?
To be honest, I think I made a mistake in qualifying on my final hot lap. So my banker was only good enough for I think dead last. So I kind of knew from prior experience in the series anyway that a lot we would reasonably easily make up a lot of positions just from other people making mistakes and getting a bit too aggressive with each other and crashing out and that kind of thing. So I was kind of going into the first race okay, well, we're starting at the back. I just want to finish this race. If I make it to the checker flag, I will be very, very happy. And then it turned out that actually we gained a bunch of positions, and got ourselves into the points, and I had to really fight to maintain that position for a bit, and then eventually finished in P18.
Yeah, and P18, great result for the first race. Are you looking to build on that? Obviously, Zandvoort is a circuit that will bring new challenges, but I've heard that particularly you're looking forward to the tail end of the season and circuits like Alton and Knockhill.
Knockhill particularly for me, yeah, because Knockhill is the track where I got my best finish in the series, P11, as well as just it's a track that I really like. I just really like Knockhill. It is incredibly difficult to make overtakes there, and I do expect it to be a bit of a wreck fest, but it's just a really fun track to drive. For next week, Zandvoort, that's going to be a lot of work because I don't know Zandvoort that well. Um, so after we get off the call, I'm going to go cook myself some food and probably come back and start learning how to drive Zandvoort because I don't think I've ever raced there. So that'll be an interesting challenge. Um, Other
Yeah,
tracks I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
it's a good it's a good plan. I mean, what challenges do you anticipate Zandvoort presenting for a first timer? Obviously, there's the grip challenge, and there's those F1 bankings, which are
Mhm.
something I think unique to the F4 series. But are you anticipating it to also be a challenge that you're up against full-time esports drivers who obviously have all driven the F1 circuits mercilessly up to now?
Oh yeah. I mean, realistically speaking, I'm at a massive disadvantage for that because other than today, have been in work almost every day between the race, like last week's race and this week's and the race that's coming up. I'm in work tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and race day. So they'll have a lot more practice time than me. So I'm not my expectations aren't super high for Zandvoort, but you know, hoping for the best.
Yeah, indeed. So let's talk through a few key incidents from the first two races then. So, um, obviously, you will know better than I um, what your point of view was in those incidents. So maybe because we're likely to be playing this over the top of maybe a YouTube Shorts or a
Mm-hmm.
Reels clip, could you perhaps talk through what happened in a few of the key incidents in the race for you, such as overtakes, maybe snafus, that kind of thing?
I mean, honestly, there were kind of so many of not to bury the other drivers, but there were so many points where kind of I'm looking forward and see a cloud of smoke, and Roxy is like, "Oh, go right, go right, go right," or "Go left, go left, go left." Um, there were not a small amount, so I don't remember most of them particularly clearly. Um, but kind of my point of view, kind of what I'm thinking of is sort of just it doesn't matter if I lose positions here, just get through, especially in the first race, because I was just thinking about surviving. In the second race, like we were actually like starting in P18, so I was thinking, okay, I need to try and maintain this position while surviving. Um, if you want, we can talk about the incident that I remember the best, where I got tapped in the rear going into clearways and spun.
Sure, let's do that.
Um, because that one really annoyed me. Like it was a racing incident. I believe he's been penalized for it.
So,
Like
so
it is what it is.
let's try and drive to survive-ize this. So if you could try and seem as angry as possible, considering it was a few days ago, then that might be good for footage.
Oh god, he's so incompetent, and like you can't bump and run. We're not racing ovals here. You can't bump and run in someone in F4. God, the incompetence on display. I don't know.
But no, seriously, like so. Talk us through the incident from your own point of view. What do you think happened, and what do you think contributed to that?
I mean, it was really strange because he had been behind me for a couple of laps prior, so he should have anyway known where my braking point in clearways was. And I'm not going to sit here and say like it was the same as everyone else's, because it was probably a little bit earlier. But like it was just really strange because he had been fighting to get past me for a couple of laps. So he should have known where my braking point was. But I get on the brakes, he just gets on the brakes too late, taps me, and I spin. Like it's a racing incident, but ultimately it is his fault because like just because I wanted to make sure for myself, I went and checked telemetry and I was braking the exact same point as the previous couple of laps. So like I didn't do anything different. He just messed up. And to be honest, if I hadn't been so sleep deprived, I probably could have caught it, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, it's one of the challenges of sim racing, as they say. But so, it was it the kind of incident that's more likely to happen at a circuit like Brands Hatch Indy, or is it just a case of it's the first round of the series, people are still a bit rusty going into it?
I think it's probably just rust. Like if he was trying to send one deep, like maybe, but I don't know. I think it was just he like misjudged my braking point because he was a bit closer that time. I'm really not sure. I don't think it's track specific. I think it's kind of just as you said, the first round of the series. So people are kind of like getting back into the swing of driving these cars.
How much is it as a benefit for the series to have F4 cars? Because obviously you've got a lot of F1 affiliated teams competing against sim teams such as Prismatic, and I'm wondering how much does it level the playing field having F1 teams and but competing in F4 and also having fixed setups as well.
The fixed setups is really actually the key thing here. Because like last season anyway, like it was one thing to kind of focus on getting the pace up. But then on top of that, to have setup work, oh my god, like the time that you have to put in now is so much less because you're just running the iRacing fixed setup. Perfect. You just go out and turn laps. You don't even have to think about changing things. And like that's really beneficial for us at Prismatic anyway, because like we're not a professional team. None of us are getting paid. I work full time and I have a bunch of other stuff that I do. So like it suits me a bit better, but like even then, like some of the guys here that are pros, like I'm sure they probably could just work on setups all day for like 3 days straight, and that's just not an amount of time that I could ever be able to compete with, you know. So that's definitely helped to like close the pace gap. It's probably a lot tighter now than it was last year. In terms of the F4 cars, I think it's really helpful as well because like they're not easy to drive by any means, but they're not like F1 cars. If this was an F1 series, I wouldn't be taking part because I can't keep up with those things. Like my brain just doesn't work fast enough. My brain works fast enough for these things, but just not an F1 car. I've tried it before. Like I've tried it in iRacing. I've like tried the super formulas. I've tried the Mercedes F1 cars. And I just can't keep up. It's too much for me. A super high downforce open wheeler just doesn't suit me for whatever reason.
Okay, but in F4 as well, you've got obviously some of the more promising drivers recruited by the F1 teams and F1 team academies competing against you. So, how happy does it make you? How proud does it make you that you're actually competing wheel to wheel with them? Because, as you said, that they're putting in hours of practice daily before the race, and you presumably have your own things to do. So the fact that you're able to compete with them on a level playing field, that must make you immensely proud.
Oh yeah, it does. Like kind of that's always been the thing with Prismatic. We always punch like way above our weight class, and like in this series we're doing the same. Like we're ahead of I think Williams and Alpine in the standings. Like you've got like a bunch of people that are like ostensibly amateurs. Like you could like generously call us semi-professional, but like again, none of us get paid. This is not our full-time thing. This is a hobby to me and Ohe, like a serious hobby, but a hobby nonetheless. Like we don't get paid by Prismatic. Nobody in Prismatic gets paid for what it's worth. Like this is a volunteer organization, and the fact that a volunteer organization is beating professional organizations with like affiliations with, as you say, like actual F1 teams, and like potentially the backing of like professional coaches and driver coaches and like the academies and stuff like that. I think it just goes to show like what a little bit of grit and a little bit of passion can really get you, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So looking ahead then, obviously you've said Zandvoort will be a particular challenge for you, but are you looking to work together with Olivia to maybe look at the challenges, look at some overtaking opportunities at that circuit? Maybe are you planning to take part in a test together between now and then?
Oh, definitely. I will need to. I think I'm definitely going to be taking the lead from Ohe for the next round, just because I'm fairly sure she's raced there before. She has experience of the track. Like as I said, I have very, very little experience with the track, so a lot of it today is just going to be learning where does the track go, and then trying to find some of the pace, and then I'll work with Ohe probably from tomorrow to like kind of get the pace up a bit more, figure out overtaking opportunities, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to highlight? Anything else that you would like your voice to be playing over while we do these clips?
I'm not sure. I won't lie. My dog did just walk into my room for some reason.
I think it was barely audible, so it's fine.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't think there is anything else. I'm not gonna lie. Other than it's probably just as well that like we're not live streaming my POV, because I had choice words during the races about some of the things that I saw.
Well,
and people that know me, people that have raced with me, know how I can be in the cockpit.
I think people accept it with Max Verstappen though, so I'm sure you'd be fine.
Yeah, but I don't want to get on people's bad side, you know? Like when I say someone is a like bleep and a bleep and a bleep and a bleep, do I really mean it? Not really. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah. All right, Sascha, this has been good. I'll stop recording now.